Everyone. Today, we're diving into a question that's been haunting horror fans for years. Is the slasher genre dead? Let's take a trip back to the beginning. The slasher genre emerged from the shadows in the late 1970s and early 1980s with films like Halloween, Friday the 13th, and A Nightmare on Elm Street. These movies introduced us to relentless killers like Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, and Freddy Krueger, who stalked and slashed their way through teenage victims. The formula was simple yet terrifying: an unstoppable killer, a high body count, and the ultimate showdown with the final girl. However, as the genre gained popularity, the tropes began to feel repetitive. By the early 90s, audiences were growing tired of the same old formula. Enter Scream in 1996. Directed by Wes Craven, Scream revitalized the genre by injecting self-awareness and satire.
It is a film about a group of kids that all love scary movies, who are then put in a situation where they are being preyed on by an anonymous killer. They find themselves unwillingly sometimes in those very cliche situations they sort of thought were so clever and fun to watch when they're watching scary movies.
It not only scared us, but also made us laugh at the cliches it cleverly deconstructed. This meta approach breathed new life into slasher films, leading to a wave of imitators like I Know What You Did Last Summer and Urban Legend. But soon the market became oversaturated, and once again the genre fell into a slump. Fast forward to the 2010s, and we see the rise of what many call elevated horror. Films like Hereditary, Get Out, and The Babadook brought a new level of sophistication to the genre. These movies didn't rely solely on jump scares and gore. Instead, they offered deep psychological horror, social commentary, and complex narratives that resonated with a broader audience. Hereditary, directed by Ari Aster, delved into the terrifying legacy of family trauma and mental illness, weaving a story that left audiences unsettled long after the credits rolled. Jordan Peele's Get Out cleverly blended horror with biting social commentary on race relations in America, making it both a critical and commercial success. The Babadook, an Australian film by Jennifer Kent, explored grief and motherhood through the lens of a haunting monster, delivering a slow-burn horror that emphasized atmosphere and emotional depth over traditional scares. This shift towards elevated horror marked a significant departure from the slasher genre's straightforward approach. These new films demanded more from their audiences, encouraging viewers to engage with the story on multiple levels. They utilized slow burn techniques, building tension gradually rather than relying on constant thrills. This approach not only reinvigorated horror, but also broadened its appeal, attracting viewers who might have previously dismissed the genre as mere schlock. Now let's talk about In a Violent Nature. I just finished watching it, and to be honest, I was underwhelmed. The film tried to offer something original, but failed to deliver a compelling story or a unique killer. It made me wonder if the slasher genre can still thrive in today's horror landscape, especially when compared to the slow-burn elevated horror films we've been discussing. Despite the challenges, I believe it's possible for slasher films to make a comeback. But what would it take? First, we need fresh, innovative stories that go beyond the tired tropes. A compelling narrative with well-developed characters is crucial. The killer must be more than just a faceless entity. They need a backstory that adds depth and motivation. Additionally, blending elements of elevated horror with traditional slasher themes could create a hybrid that appeals to both old-school fans and new audiences. Ultimately, the slasher genre must evolve to stay relevant. So, what do you think? Is the slasher genre dead, or does it still have a fighting chance? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to share your favorite slasher movies.